saying it's invalid. What the fuck are you talking
Hello and good morning. This is the expert hour for 127-2015. My name is JP, and we'll be talking today about transformations. So we have the ability to map your information and move it from one data source to another. Now we have a new ability that will be coming out soon. I believe either the end of sometime this week or um, next week that will give us some enhanced abilities. Uh, so what we have is we released recently a transform ability that we had talked about that would allow you to transform your data from um, date fields. So it converts from one particular date format to another, and we'll talk about that and show you that. And now we also released a matching kind of feature, and what we have also added into that matching feature is a includes feature. So it actually will say, find any account that includes this, and we can convert that over instead of using fixed values. So it's quite a powerful little thing that we've added in. And we've also added in how action items on what to do if you get a blank response, and we'll talk more about that. So, without further ado, I'm going to start talking about our packages and what we actually do. So, Syncfrog, we will allow you to take your information from SurveyMonkey, Twitter, Salesforce reports, Google spreadsheets, and forms and put it into MS Dynamics, Infusionsoft, Oracle, Marketo, Salesforce currently. And we have some other sources and targets that we've added in. So we've got a cool little video here that kind of will describe what we do and the statement that we have. Now, how does it work? Well, essentially, you choose your source, so it could be any of these sources plus a couple more now, including the Litmos and Typeform, and then choose your target. So pick any of our connectors. Map your information from one field to another, and flip a switch, and it'll start moving that data over. So very, very simple, and obviously the define the map here is very, very simple. Um, However, we can get pretty in depth with, excuse me, multi-part mapping and creating accounts and contacts and tying the two together and all sorts of cool stuff like that. So we can do some cool things that other data loaders can't do, right? So we can use Google Sheets as our source instead of like a regular CSV file, or we don't have to locally install the software onto your computer. So we also use OpenAuth 2.0. So we will tell you what permissions we need to do anything, and we won't continue to ask you for your permissions and everything along those lines. You can create and update multiple objects, which is huge, and you can apply business rules and logic to your leap. So you can have things get skipped because it was found, all sorts of cool stuff like that. So, well, how much is this going to cost us, right? So our starting price is free. Our most basic, and all that differentiates between each package, is how many login per connectors, one data leap, and we'll define that better in a second, and our syncability. All the packages are pretty close. I mean, you get one login per connector. If you go up to bronze, you get 5 data leaps, and you get the scheduling ability, which you don't get in basic. Silver gives you 3 logins per connector and 10 data leaps. Biggest thing is this is the minimum package you need to do a Salesforce to Salesforce data leap in terms of from one Salesforce org to another Salesforce org. So this works out pretty well if you are a CRM admin and you want to move data across multiple orgs. You would need at least the silver package, and that would allow you to do 10 separate data leaps, and you would also get the monthly daily scheduling as well. And the daily could be set up to be every day or weekdays only at a certain time. And you also get community and email support now, and that's at the price point of $99, as you can see. Then you go up to our gold, which is unlimited pretty much everything. It also has our smallest increment of time that we currently have for scheduling is hourly. And again, you get community and priority email support. All of these accounts currently have free chat support as well. So if you had a question about your data leap or anything along those lines, you can see the chat tab. Once you're in the leap itself, it'll say chat. Open that up, and you'll be able to ask your questions. Awesome. And again, that's at the price point of $199. So it's not exactly going to be breaking the bank for you in terms of how much the ability that you have and everything along those lines. So it's quite competitively priced in comparison of a lot of data loaders that are doing multiple objects and stuff like that. You're talking thousands of dollars a month, and here we're only charging $200 a month. All right, so the data leap question. What is a data leap? Data leap is the process of sending information from one place to another. So sending the results of a SurveyMonkey survey to Infusionsoft would be one data leap. The basic version allows you to set up one data leap. The paid versions allow more. Once a leap is set up, there is no limit to the amount of actual data you can send. So to define that a little bit better, it says, SurveyMonkey to Infusionsoft would be one data leap, right? So that's one set of complete mapping and everything like that. There is no limit to how many times I can run that same data leap. So if I'm constantly syncing to SurveyMonkey to Infusionsoft, I can keep on click on the button to activate that leap. That counts as one data leap. I can sit there and do it all the time. However, if I wanted to map a Typeform form to Infusionsoft, then that would be a second data leap. So Typeform to Infusionsoft in the same account plus the SurveyMonkey to Infusionsoft would be 2 data leaps, and you would need at least the bronze package. At least with going to the bronze, you can actually have it set to daily. That way you can get your results every day. So that's kind of cool. Is you can set it up. You don't have to go in to click into Syncfrog, click the activate button, and then wait for your data to sync over. It'll just do it automatically for you. So that is a data loop. All right. So we're going to show that new functionality that we've added into our app today called the transform ability. So you can see here, I have a Salesforce report going to Salesforce, and we're going to go ahead and map it. And this is the actual report I'll be using. So this is the Salesforce report. I have strangeness in the wilderness. So what I'm moving is an opportunity, an account, a contact, the opportunity amount, and the close date and the stage. So you can see the close date is in this format. And we'll use our transform ability to automatically convert that over. So here's our Salesforce report going to Salesforce. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it. So it's going to ask for our credentials, and I've already put these in. Tell it which one we're using. So I'm going to run this report to make sure it's current. Okay. So that is the op account op and contact for NA15 org. Wow, that is a mouthful. All right, so go ahead and apply on that. And I've already told it what Salesforce org we're using. We're actually using a different org here. So you can see this is NA15 here, and this is actually housed on NA9. So I'm going to 2 separate Salesforce orgs. And we're going to go ahead and convert the data over for ourselves here. So we're going to go ahead and click on mapping. Now, the first thing I want to do is create or update the existing account. So I'm going to use in our Salesforce types here. You can see all of our basic types are nested at the top. Then we have any of our advanced types, which could be anything like case solution, contract, feed comment, which would be your feed post stuff. Users in here, and then we also have our custom objects. So any of our custom objects would be nested here at the bottom. And those are usually denoted by the _C at the end of it to let you know. But again, I'm just going to be using default things today. So we'll click on account, and we will say create new or update existing. So here we go. And I'm going to use that account name field, going to account name. And if I find multiples, I'm going to use the last modify. Awesome. And we'll use that account name field. So we have account name going to account name string. Awesome. Next up, we can do our contact. So again, we're just going to use contact and add new section. And we will do, again, we'll just create them as a new contact in here. And we'll do last name. First name to last name. There we go. And we'll click on auto map fields here. So we have account name going to account ID reference. Is the very first thing it tried to do. That's not going to work because our account name is not an ID value. So inside of here, we can actually use our reference statement, and that references our first part of our mapping to our contact mapping. So that'll grab our ID value from mapping panel 1 here and using it mapping panel 2. So that's how we're tying the account to the contact. Now I'm just going to go through and delete things that I don't need. So this was duplicated, obviously. I only need one email field. First name field was done right. Stage is not right. Stage is not right. And we'll click on the red X. All right, so we have our contact being created. We have last name to last name, our account ID from our first part, our email to email, and our first name to first name. Cool. So that is all of our information from our report here that we need to have, right? So we have our account name, we have our first name, last name, and email, right? So that's enough for us to create a decently defined contact inside of an org. Now let's go to our opportunity. So let's create that new opportunity, and we'll say opportunity and add new section here. Now to create a new opportunity, we need a few things. We need a close date, we need a name, and we need a stage, right? So we have opportunity name, and we have opportunity stage, right? And that's in our report. But we have close date, and we have close date here as well. However, for us to move this information from one Salesforce org to another, we need to transform our date format from the month, day, year format to year, month, day. And that's just the way it has to happen, right? That's just the way Salesforce API has to have it. And you actually can see it in some emails and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Syncfrog automatically convert our close date on a mass scale for us. So we're going to click on this little transform button here, and it says create a value transform. And we're going to use a date transform. So our source date format from our report is in the format of month, day, year, right? So there's month, day, year. And our target format, and like I stated, is got to be in a specific format for Salesforce, and that's year, dash month, dash day. And if I want to put the time zones, I can, and that would automatically do some conversion for us as well. So if I was a Pacific Standard, I can put that in as well. And if the other org was in a specific time zone as well, I can do that as well. And then I'll do some additional conversion for us on hourly things. So if I click on apply, that will now automatically convert all the close date fields on this particular report column header to the proper format, and then provide that into Salesforce. So that's perfect. We don't have to transform any more information or anything along those lines. That'll actually just do it for us. Now, we want to map the last of our fields, which is probably expected, what is it? The amount, and that goes into the amount currency field. So that should be the last things we need. Expected revenue, actually, Salesforce does a conversion for us, and the stage are in there as well. So cool. We've done an account, tie a contact to it, an opportunity. Oh, you know what? I didn't tie a account to the opportunity. So again, we'll use that reference. So we see reference one contact and account ID reference. Awesome. Now again, we can map to pretty much any field inside of here. So you can see all of our opportunity things. So if this was coming from a specific campaign, we can grab that ID. Now, I'm going from one org to another. So ID values typically don't mean much from one account to another, right? From one Salesforce org to another, because the ID values are completely different. Your 15-character ID value is going to be completely different than somebody else's 15-character ID value for the same exact account name. So we can get away with it here because we're doing finds and updates and all sorts of good jazz about that. So if I go ahead and delete that one. All right. So as we're doing update existing or create new, this is our first statement, and then it's going to go ahead and use that first part in this one and also in this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this. Click on OK here. So now we have our transform here. Now I'm going to click on activate, and we'll click on run now. Now again, if I have this particular account as a gold package, so I can create a schedule for this, and I can say, hourly, run it every 2 hours, every hour. I can run it daily, every day, at a specific time, what time zone, weekdays or every day. Today, I'm just going to run it now, and that's going to grab our Salesforce report data. Awesome. So we had a total, and we had 1 error and 2 not processed. So let's take a look at our log here. Operation create. Okay. Now, in case of this, I can actually click on select data, and I can download it as a CSV file. So here we go. Or I can put it directly into Google Spreadsheet. So let's take a look at why it errored, and this will tell us right inside of it here. Just error. Awesome. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and skip the source item and continue next time. And that will hopefully kick out the error, and we'll click on activate and run now one more time. I'm using a test version of Syncfrog, so it may not be processing quite properly, and obviously the error reporting is not the same inside of this version. So let's go ahead and do a create new where account name equals account name. Click on apply, click on OK, click on activate, and run now one more time. Awesome. Okay. And for some reason, it's showing me 3 records when it should only be grabbing 1. All right. Skip the source item and continue. Which is doing create new account, 2 accounts, contact, and our close date here. Okay. All right. So apparently we had changed something in our test org. That's not allowing that to go through because I've ran that same data leap many, many, many times. So let's just try one thing real quick. We'll do a new account name called Ape. Okay, save. And we'll do a new contact for it. Call it major monkey. And email address. All right, click on save here. All right, and I'm going to tie a new opportunity to this one. So we'll create a new opportunity, and we'll call it grape soda. All right, so the amount is 32,000. Close date of today. Prospecting.
Guy on Twitter asking if Syncfrog can be used to export from Salesforce, but I don't know what he's trying to do. Why does he need a tool to export?
All right, so I've got that all created, and you can see that our account name and everything is along those lines. So if I run that report one more time, say this particular one, and click on Run Report.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I would want the detailed one. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the other way we can actually do it is with a Google Sheet as our source. So if we just do the same exact data leap, and this time we'll say Google Spreadsheet to Salesforce. It's going to be much the similar thing. You just put your credentials in here. And I have one that's called Account Op and Create. And do you want to run incremental, which is any new rows or all rows? We're going to do incremental today. And our credentials, for example, and click on Create, and we'll say, OK, take me to the mapping. Again, we'll do the same exact thing. We'll do create new, or account name equals account name. Contact, again, same exact thing. Contact last name. Do opportunity, and again, we'll do the same thing. Contact email, and now we'll do the same thing with the opportunity. And close date. Opportunity name. So you can see I don't have, I have stage here. And again, we'll use that close date. So again, we'll put the format it's in, and on this particular spreadsheet is in month, day, day, year. Again, we'll just apply that. So that's automatically going to convert all of those over. We'll click on Map New Field, and again, we'll tie it to the account ID, click on Apply, and click on OK. You can see that our icons changed here, and we'll click on, exit on that one, and click on Activate. And we'll click on Run Now. Now it's going to grab our data from our Google Sheet here. All right, so we had 6 successes, and we can click on View Log Details here. And you'll see exactly what it did with the ID value. So if I go into here, we should have a new opportunity, and 6 of them. So you can see we have our grape ape, which happens to be on the spreadsheet as well. Monsieur chimpanzee. So we have our opportunity here and our account name. So if I click on the opportunity, you can see we have grape soda, our close date of last week, our stage here, and the only thing I didn't put into that was our expected revenue or the amount. You can see that it was just quickly created, and you can see that if we go to the account, there's our account name, and there's our contact. So there's Monsieur Chimpanzee and his email. Now, there's no limit to how many column headers you can have on this. It's the same thing with a Salesforce report. You can have this go all the way up to, AH is what it shows by default on this Google Sheet. So you can move a ton of data if you've got a ton of stuff coming across. So some of the other cool things that we can do with the transformability is, so if we go back into our mapping here, and we have account name going to account name. Now say if I have a partial list, or I want to do a little bit of logic into this, and I have a set known variable for account ID or something along those lines, or I wanted to try and figure out the account name for us, I can do a transform value on a lookup. So what that will do is we get some logic into our file here. So we can say matches or includes. So if I wanted to say anything that had the word rape, I wanted to actually convert it to rape ape. And I can do more of it, and includes ape equals grape ape, or ERA could be grape ape as well. So what that's going to do is anytime our source file here would have the word grape ape or gray GRA in it, it will automatically convert it to the word grape ape. And that will do a transform for us. Now we can do includes or exactly matches. Now you're thinking, okay, that's a lot of typing and everything along those lines, or I have a set list I want to use and everything like that. Well, click on this little advanced button here, choose your file, and this would be a CSV file. So I have a transform CSV file prepared, and if I click on load, that will automatically grab what we have. So in this particular one, it would be anything that includes the word crime would automatically be converted to this particular account ID. So what I did is just ran a comparison report between this org and another one inside of Excel. So obviously I'm not going to use this because I'm not doing that particular use case. But you can see that includes, matches, includes. So you can add additional logic to it. So you can have a search for anything that matches. So this, again, it's not fuzzy logic, but it will help, right? So IBM is also International Business Machine, or you have a set list of account names and that there's several inside of one org that exist in another, but you want to set up all of those to go to the same org. You can do the same thing as, all of these same names would equal the same ID. You can use up to 500 when-then statements off of one file. And the file looks like this. So it's really easy. Just first column header is exactly what you see is the includes, crime, and then the account ID. So that's your 3 columns, right? And that exactly matches what we see here. Includes, then. So really simple to use. Now we got some other cool stuff that we can do is regular expression. And obviously this is not going to work for us. Essentially what this allows us to do is if you put a specific regular expression, which is a mathematical formula, into this when box, then it's going to automatically populate the correct then statement for it. So a prime example of this is you could put the regular expression in for area code, right? So it's just going to truncate your phone number. So in this particular case, it would be 602-903-7247. It would, with a regular expression, you could have it just truncated to 602. And you can use that to break down phone numbers if you have separate fields for it, right? So you might have a area code field inside of your CRM. A regular expression will allow you to truncate that phone number down and just grab the area code portion of it. That way you can do regional settings or regional, area type marketing. So, hey, we're going to be in your region or whatever. Here's some information. Come see us eat off our food truck. We also will allow a value transform. So if we get a blank value, it will automatically provide over a whatever text you want. So prime example of this is a survey answer that somebody didn't answer. So they went through the survey, and you want, instead of a blank field to your CRM, you want the word no response, or no comment. And that will automatically pass that from the blank value to the field that you're mapping it to. It's only if it's blank. Otherwise, it will pass that over. We can do the same thing as is not blank. So if you had a field that is not blank, and you want just a box to be checked that they answered something, you can actually do that. It's going to be the same exact thing as is not blank. Then if this was a Boolean option, it would say 1, 0, true, false, and the field I'm going to is text, so it's not going to. So you can have a hey, there's some sort of value in there, you want me to put this in there then. So that's kind of cool. Is blank is anything that is empty or only white space, which would be, for example, 3 spaces in here in space. So that is the new value transform ability inside of Syncfrog. Thank you for watching, and we'll have many more videos, and we'll be pushing this functionality sometime soon, and that will help several use cases and add a little bit more logic to your Leap. Thank you, and have a great week.